What's up, good people? Welcome to the Divisional Round episode of the Breaking Entering podcast. 8 teams remain in the quest for a Super Bowl in February next month. We're here to break down the 4 games you all plan to watch. He's Ed. I'm Brandon. Ed, you have a good week?
Long week. Glad it's over. Ready to get these games over with. Little antsy, little nervous about this divisional round matchup we got going on, but we'll get into it. Let's get this opening drive going though. Jim Harbaugh is to undergo harder procedure and a hip replacement this offseason. The Colts will play in Berlin next season. They've been designated as the home team. The Dolphins will play a 2025 regular season game in Madrid as the home team. Deontay Johnson is back with the Ravens, but he's not eligible to play again this postseason. Aaron Rodgers says he'll wait to see who the Jets hire as GM and head coach before he decides to play or not next season. And the Titans have hired Chiefs assistant general manager Mike Bergonzi as their new general manager. Good luck to them. Okay, very nervous about this game. Commanders at the Lions, gonna be in Detroit. I think the weather's gonna be a little nippy out there. I know going into next week, a lot of the East Coast and Midwest is gonna get some of this Arctic air that's coming through. So I'm sure a lot of the games are starting to get chilly. But this one, man, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we'll win this game. I mean, Vegas has the Lions as a 9.5 point favorite going into this game. I do think it'll be a shootout, though. I've always underestimated my defense or the Commanders' defense. This is another game where I think I don't want to say they have a snowball chance in hell, but definitely slim pickings. One thing that I'm kind of confident about, or am glad to see, not glad to see, but the Lions guard Kevin Zeitler, he's going to be out this game, so that might give us an opportunity to muck things up in the trenches. But they are getting David Montgomery back. That's 1-2 punch. I think they're called Sonic and Knuckles. Jameer Gibbs, he's already a problem by himself, but now they adding David Montgomery again makes me even more worried. But hopefully, with them missing their guard, Kevin Zeitler, guys like Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen can disrupt things back there. We need guys who've been there before, like Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, to step up and play big. I think the only chance we got to win this game is Jaden Daniel has another dynamite game where he's controlling the offense. Very little punts. I think he's got 3 games now in his career with no punts. We need another game like that. Be aggressive on third down, fourth down. Could be like a 4th and 8, 4th and 9 in our own territory. And we might need to go for it. We got to keep that Lions offense off the field to have a chance in this one. But I just don't know. Main weakness of our defense is the running game. And like I said, with David Montgomery being back, that 1-2 punch, I could easily see both of these guys getting 15 plus carries, even with David Montgomery being out for so long. I could see them both getting 15 plus carries. Jared Goff not having to do too much, only throwing the ball maybe like 20 times, if that. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we put points on the board, force Lions to throw the ball. We hold on to the ball for a while, eat up the time of possession and get things done that way. But I don't know. I don't know if our defense will be able to hold up. Guys in the secondary got to do it. Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the Sam Laporta, their tight end. I think it's going to be a tough task for them. But, I mean, disrupt the run game, fluster Jared Goff, make him throw some interceptions. Maybe we have a chance, but I just fortunately don't see it happening. Brandon, how are you thinking this game will go?
Yeah, I don't think the Lions have faced a quarterback like Jaden Daniels yet this year. They play guys like Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, but none of those guys bring the electricity that Daniels does, in my opinion. I think the defense of the Lions will struggle a little bit. They're giving up around 20 points per game, while your Washington offense is scoring about 28 points per game. So I give y'all the advantage there. I think Cliff Kingsbury, he's going to allow his quarterback to take off whenever he wants to. I feel like y'all will try to run the ball a little bit more as well in this one that y'all did last week. Jaden, though, he needs to know where Kirby Joseph is on every play, though. He has 9 interceptions on the season. Detroit actually is among the best when it comes to intercepting the ball as well. Um, Jared Goff and his offense, to me, I think the key for them is not turning the ball over. He threw 12 interceptions during the regular season. You mentioned the run game. Maybe they need to rely on that because if, Washington can get those turnovers, it'll definitely help, um, you know, get to a victory for you all there on the road. I'm actually leaning towards Washington in this one. Something just tells me that y'all could beat them. Um, we know they only lost 2 games this season. It was against Buffalo and Tampa. Those are two high-powered offenses. I don't think y'all are as high-powered as those two can be, but I think on any given Sunday y'all can be like that. So we'll see what it's like Saturday night there in the Motor City for sure. But yeah, for the second straight week, give me the Commanders in this one. I like y'all's odds going into this one. I know you mentioned the what Vegas odds are. I'm looking at ESPN. They got a 73% chance that Detroit's winning. Um, Tampa's different than the opponent y'all had last week. They're different than Detroit. But again, Tampa beat Detroit early in the season, so we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be definitely a high scoring game, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I will say one thing before we move on. I think we are in a win-win situation. I mean, I feel like a lot of commanders are happy to be there. I think from like a story perspective, if we lose, I mean, hey, we got a young up and coming quarterback. It is what it is. We're predicted to lose anyway. But if we win, the story continues. One not done, as they said the last game. So I think the most of the pressure is on the Lions. I think the Commanders are going to go out there and play free, in my opinion. But we'll see.
Yeah, so many people mentioned that Jaden, that Mahomes esque in him. I think he has a little bit of Lamar in him as well, in the sense of y'all always going to have a chance to win with him out there. That's how we feel with the Ravens. It was kind of like we had Ed Reed. We always had a chance at the end of the game to get the ball back when we had him. I know there's a difference between a safety and a quarterback, but yeah, y'all definitely have a bright future moving forward. Something to look forward to. All right. Trip to the AFC Championships on the line Sunday evening when the Ravens and the Bills played Highmark Stadium. Looks like temps will be in the teens. The wind chill in the single digits, a chance of snow as well. Allen versus Jackson round 5. This series is tied 2 games apiece in their career, with the Ravens winning the most recent one. Attention, Todd Monken. Please hear me loud and clear. Stick to the script. I say that all the time. But the run game works. A lot of Ravens fans are joking on social media that we're wearing all white and it's likely, again, going to be snowing, that they won't see Derrick Henry coming. Even when most teams see him coming, they cannot stop him. So run the ball, please. I think the key to beating Buffalo is getting off to a fast start. We experienced that, in the week 4 matchup. The first play of our first drive, I think it was 87 yards to the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
Um, Derrick Henry looked like a runaway train. Eventually led to 199 yards on the ground for him in that one. We also pressured Josh Allen left and right. 8 quarterback hits on him that day, 3 sacks overall. Lamar Jackson didn't have to do much in the pass game because of those two right there, because of our run game and our pass defense. All right. James Cook, he was honestly a non factor in that one there. Things are different now. We know Josh Allen playing some really good football, MVP candidate. I know Ed thinks that he's going to win MVP. We'll see how that goes in a couple weeks. They have Amari Cooper now. Several of their key defenders are back, including Matt Milano. Um, I think if we can, keep him in the pocket, and stop the run, which again, the run was non-existent last time. We should be good. I think guys like Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Chris Board, Malik Harrison, those guys need to be ready to run sideline to sideline, east to west, as I call it, to contain Josh Allen, because when he gets out on the run, specifically to his right, he is dangerous. Like he threw probably a good 50-yard bomb against us on a rollout to the right. He literally probably had 1 foot in the air out of bounds when he threw that ball. But I think the receiver didn't catch that ball. I think he was like out of bounds, or he couldn't get his feet in, the receiver. But yeah, I respect their wide receivers, but they don't concern me as much as their tight ends. Knox and Kincaid. We've struggled against tight ends for years, but just hoping to God that Brandon Stevens don't get exposed again. I'm confident we can go in there and win. Last time we played them in the playoffs, man, it was 17-3 loss in the divisional round on the road. I was in Texas. I just did a walkthrough at my house that I have down there. I was signing all the paperwork. I was at Rashad's house. I'll never forget it. Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals that night. It was a little windy out there. It didn't snow, but it was very, very windy. It was just a long night for Ravens fan. I was mad as hell. All right, so Baltimore, please, let's redeem ourselves. Let's keep this band going. Let's keep this season going. Extend our season to the AFC Championship, please, Baltimore. Please get it done, Lamar. I know a lot of people on TV are like, more pressures on him as opposed to Josh Allen because Josh Allen has done more in the playoffs. Even though Josh Allen, I think, is 1-3 in divisional and championship rounds, but that's what the people say. So um, I don't think it's more so quarterback versus quarterback. I think it's just it's team versus team in my opinion at this point because we gotta I think our guys are laser focused on winning this as a collective bunch. It's not the fact of Lamar's in the MVP conversation, um, Josh Allen's in the MVP conversation. They both can't win the game themselves. You know what I'm saying? Those are two very key factors in this game, but we need a defense. We need special teams. We need good coaching. We need all that stuff when it comes down to these teams like Buffalo, Kansas City, even Houston is still in the running there in the AFC. But yeah, how do you feel about this one?
I like your chances. I mean, looking at the Vegas odds, even though it's in Buffalo, you guys are favored by a point. I think that's a good indication how the stats or the odds makers looking at both of y'all teams. I was reading an article a little earlier this week about how y'all preparing for the game. It's freezing right now, or really cold up in Baltimore because they haven't been practicing inside due to the fact that their practice field is so dang on
Yep.
uh, rough and tough right now are hard due to the cold that they've been playing inside. But I know Harbaugh was saying even though we're playing inside, it's still cold in there. We're going to turn the water off just so the water doesn't freeze in the pipes and everything like that. So we'll definitely be prepared for the weather going up in Baltimore, or excuse me, in Buffalo. A lot of things you mentioned, I agree with running the ball. I also think you guys might have to worry about. It seems like this year, in my opinion, at least, that Josh Allen has used the running backs, throwing it to them out the backfield a little bit more this year. I know Ty Johnson has a couple of big games catching the ball at the backfield. Same for James Cook. Be careful because I know he is a magician with getting out the pocket or even being in the pocket. Extending the time in the pocket and throwing the ball to those backs out the backfield, and they'll gash and dash people. So be a little worried about that. But I think kind of like last week, play smash mouth football, like you said, Derrick Henry, run the ball. Hey, maybe even another 10, 15 carries for Lamar Jackson and just run the ball down their throat. I don't know, man. I don't think Zay Flowers is going to play. He hasn't practiced all week. Looking at the injury report right now, I think he's doubtful. So I doubt he's played. But, guys like Rashad Bateman stepped up. You still got your tight ends back there, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. And even in you kind of it's rarely you guys use Derrick Henry when he's catching the ball at the backfield, but when he does get a catch, he makes something happen. Then you still got my boy Justice Hill too making things happen. So I think Zay Flowers might miss him, but I think overall that offense still has enough weapons to get the job done. Now, defense side of the ball, like you said, last game y'all played these guys early in the season, able to pressure Josh Allen. Got to be able to do that again and rough him up, man. You got to make him think about, every time he wants to get out there, run a ball. Somebody got to, put a helmet on him, put a hat on him, hit him around. I know it's a big dude, but he definitely need to be, wanting a nice hot bath after the game from taking a bruising. I think you guys have the defense to do that. As you mentioned, guys like Kyle Hamilton, I think he needs to step up, have a good game, big game. Be a hawk in that secondary. Don't let any deep throws happen. And then again, like I said with Josh Allen, do the same thing to these receivers. Smack the hell out of them. Keon Coleman, the rookie, you're gonna have some welcome to real NFL football going on, I think. No easy stuff going on, man. And then yeah, I do agree with you about the tight ends too. Kincaid and Knox definitely got to keep an eye on those guys. Just Josh Allen. I think I don't know. It feels like this is their season of them. I don't know. It's like the last. Is this with the Josh Allen out there? I think this is one of the reasons I think he's going to win MVP over Lamar's. I think you guys have a slightly overall better team. And what Josh Allen's done with his team has been pretty remarkable, in my opinion. Even though Lamar has a better number, I still think that Josh Allen has done some crazy things so far this year, and he's looked better than in previous years too. So I'm kind of worried about that. He has like that ability to make a big play happen out of nowhere. It's like he pulled something out right out of his ass when you think something could be good for the Ravens, be a 3rd and 15. You thinking, okay, we're about to get him. He pressuring him. He's doing something. Like you said, he'll do something where he throws a ball, one leg out of bounds, 50 yards downfield, and complete a pass. So hopefully nothing like that happens too much. Maybe once or twice, but can't be consistent with it. Defense be rough and aggressive. I think it's going to come down to who's the more physical team and can apply their will definitely in this game. Definitely in the trenches too, both sides of the offensive line and defensive line. I need y'all to dominate out there. But I think the Ravens will win this one. I'm hoping for it too. So yeah, give me the Ravens in a close game. But I think you guys will dominate the run. And I don't think James Cook is going to have a game where he rushes for 100 yards in the first half like they did against the Broncos. So yeah, give me the Ravens in this one too.
Yeah, one quick thing before we move on to Zay Flowers' situation, man. I don't know if I said it on air or not, but when he first got injured, sometimes you could just tell, when you know your players and you pay attention to injuries in this sport and everything. The way he rolled over and he was grabbing his knee and everything, I was like, it's more serious than what they made it to seem early on. And then he wasn't practicing the early part of this week, and then it literally just came down a couple hours ago that he's doubtful, as you mentioned. So yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
probably not going to be out there. If we were to advance, I'm not even sure he'll be ready for next week. I think they're just trying to keep it low from a competitive standpoint. We've seen coaches do that around the league, especially in the latter part of the season and playoffs. That way, your opponent doesn't get a competitive edge. When the whole time, most teams probably already know. So I don't see what the point is keeping a secret. But I think he is more injured than what Harbaugh's saying. All right,
Yeah.
we got another AFC. I'm sorry.
No, I just say yeah.
Gotcha. We got another AFC matchup to talk about, but first, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refuel for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They're veteran women, and minority owned. So come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B and E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. Again, www.premium.com. Now back to our show. Houston versus Kansas City. Number 4 at number 1 in the AFC Saturday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Clay Martin, everyone, will be the head ref for this game. From what I understand, Kansas City is 6-0 under his leadership in the with the referees. So we'll see how that goes. Just saying. But no, on the field, everyone. These two teams did meet during the regular season. Kansas City really didn't do anything dominant in a sense. When I was going back and looking at that one, they just won the turnover battle and they held Joe Mixon in check. Um, Ed has said on several occasions this season since they acquired Joe Mixon, when teams can hold him hold him in line, contain him, and even Nico Collins, the Texans don't do much. And then also Tank Dell, he got injured early in that matchup, during the regular season as well. So that kind of, I think, factored into that game. So obviously the game plan, I think, for Houston should be to run the ball, get the ball to Nico Collins and the other wide receivers, and to hope that the defense of the Texans can force some turnovers against the Chiefs, um, like they did last week in the wild card game. I think they have a chance because of that defense. Again, Derek Stingley Jr., we talked about him on our last show, Kamari Lassiter, Henry Tuotoa, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, those guys, they got to keep Mahomes from extending plays. Maybe a guy like Tua, um, he can serve more as a spy on Mahomes because he has the speed to go east to west. If Patrick likes to scramble, if he starts to scramble, Patrick he doesn't scramble much. Sideline to sideline. He's more so stepping up in the pocket to extend the play, giving this guys time to find a mismatch against the defenders. I'm also hoping Aziz Al Shair he'll be healthy. He missed the regular season game because of his suspension. I think he can also help. Trying to keep Kelsey and contained, who only had 30 yards in that first matchup. He had 5 receptions, 30 yards. So it would be really nice to go see the Texans go into Kansas City and win. I think it could open up a new door for this franchise. It'll be a morale booster, even if they were to win in Kansas City and lose the next round, or potentially get to the Super Bowl and lose, or win. Whatever happens, if they can win, it definitely be a morale booster for her. Excuse me, for them. But um, until somebody beats them, I just don't see it happening. I think the Chiefs got this one. Um, I think the Chiefs will pull away probably, I would say, probably late third quarter, early fourth quarter. They'll probably do their typical thing, defer the opening kickoff, get the ball back just for halftime score, get that double punch, get the ball after halftime score again, and they'll have all their timeouts at the end. That's how Kansas City wins so many of their games under Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I hope the Texans win. I hope to God Texans win. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think the Chiefs will probably get it done. Definitely can't have CJ Stroud have the start he did against the Chargers, where they started off real slow, threw some had some turnovers, because I think the Chiefs will capitalize a little better than what the Chargers did last week. But I think guys, the tried and true guys like Travis Kelsey, will have those games where the playoffs come and he just it's like, how is he getting open? I mean, it's Travis Kelsey. I think it's going to be one of those type of games where he gets open. And then I think D Hop, I think he'll be a little motivated playing against his old team in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised to have him or see him have a few big plays out there, especially in some clutch and key moments. So I think he's ready for the moment out there. I think he's really hungry to get a ring. So I won't be surprised to see D Hop do his thing. But that Chiefs defense, I do think is going to be a problem for CJ Stroud and crew. I wish they had Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. I think that secondary, I think Nico Collins is going to have a rough time dealing with Trent McDuffie and those guys. And I think Chris Jones is going to have a hell of a day against that Texans O line. I could be wrong about that, but I do see Chris Jones being disruptive in the backfield. Now, hopefully, CJ Stroud kind of does what he does last week, where he had those 6 carries for 42 yards. I think if he doesn't see anything, just take off, get some yards, get some positive plays. You want to get in those second and short, third and short situations. You don't want to get into, second and long, third and 10 out there each time. And you don't want a lot of 3-and-outs. Keep that Chiefs defense on the field if you can. Kind of tire them out. See if you can win that way. CJ Stroud, though, can't have any mistakes, man. Hopefully you can just play turnover-free football, but I don't know. I think that Chiefs defense, Andy Reid's going to have those boys out there ready to play. I think Mahomes, I honestly think they really want to get this three-peat. They want to make history. I don't know who out there can stop them, but we got to see them play. I always like to see how teams, those first seed teams do coming off a bye week, if they're rusty or they just come firing right out the gate. I think the Chiefs will be one of those teams that will fire right out the gate. Patrick Mahomes, it's just his error, it seems like, right now. And it's gone like the way the season started for the Chiefs is like they find ways to win. It could be fluky. You could think the league wants them to win. Like you mentioned, the referees, they might make a play that like you scratch your head at, like, wow, you give them that call. I could definitely see, some fugazi, fluky stuff happening where it's not something that the Chiefs did, but maybe something the refs missed or just something crazy. I can see that happening too. So yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. I think Texas need another year or two. They'll be ready to compete for real for a Super Bowl, not just against the Chiefs. So yeah, I think the Chiefs will get this one done. But I kind of want the Texans to win too. Like I said earlier, I do like my boy CJ Stroud. But yeah, I think he's going up against the monster right now. and Mahomes and the Chiefs. Okay, though, let's get back to the NFC divisional side of things. We got the Rams at the Eagles. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. All this week, looking at this game, thinking about this game, something I don't know if it's a gut feeling, but I'm going with the Rams in this one. I really think that wildfire situation that happened to LA has brought this team together just a little bit more, bonded a little bit well. The way they came out against the Vikings, now I get it was Sam Darnold. We know how he's looked the last couple of games. But at the same time, man, they were firing all cylinders, man. Special teams, defense, offense looked great out there. I could see Matt Stafford, even though this Eagles defense is really good, they did lose N'Kobe Dean. So I think that will have some impact on that defense. I can see Matt Stafford doing his thing out there, and I like what they got in the backfield with Kyron Williams as well. I can see Matt Stafford and the Rams putting long drives together, and then the Eagles getting out there. Even though a lot of people said he looked rusty, Jalen Hurts, he had 2 touchdowns. Him and AJ Brown only had 1 catch. If they can stop Saquon Barkley, just limit him a little bit and force Jalen Hurts to pass, I would like to see if he can get some things done, if he can make it happen without Saquon Barkley. I think that Rams defense is going to be up to the test. They're not going to let Saquon Barkley kill him. Don't get me wrong, Saquon Barkley is going to do his thing, but I don't think he'll have 150 plus yards running the ball. Now they do have to worry about him in the backfield catching the ball as well because he's really good at that. But if they can contain Saquon and keep that Eagles offense, don't let them get long drives like I think the Rams can do. I see the Rams pulling the upset in this game. And then just the viral stuff that happened with the Philly fans. I hate Philly fans. Not all of y'all, but I mean, we see it time and time again. These damn Philly fans. The viral moment with some clown lost his damn job because he lost his mom berating you know, the fans of the other team and stuff. I'm like, come on, dude, what are you doing out there? Now he just lost his job, look like a freaking clown on the internet now. So that's another reason I want the Rams to win this game, and I'm rooting for the Rams. And I think they're gonna win it. Cooper Cup, he's gonna have a big game, I think. They're gonna focus on Puka Nakua. I think he'll have a decent game, but I think Cooper Cup will wake up. He's been quiet lately, but I think he'll wake up against those Eagles in the secondary. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Higbee and those tight ends do their thing too. But give me Matt Stafford in this one, man. How you thinking this game will go though?
So Philadelphia, they're very tough to beat there at home. They call it the Link there in Philadelphia. They're also a 6 point favorite. I like the Eagles in this one. I think Los Angeles' strong point is their defensive pass rush. We saw that front and center last week against the Vikings. Let's say they get about 4 sacks on Jalen Hurts Sunday afternoon. Unless they can stop Saquon Barkley and that tush push, um, that Philadelphia does so well. I think those Philadelphia drives will just keep going and going and going, keep extending, and those points will continue to go on the board for Philadelphia. I know Ed kind of thinks that Philadelphia's secondary is a little overrated, but they showed up last week. I know it's against Jordan Love. He's turned the ball over a lot, but they showed up. And I think Stafford, he'll try to be forcing some passes in there that'll probably get picked off, in my opinion. I think the Rams, to try to, if they want to win, in my opinion, they need a big special teams play or two. Perhaps a turnover on defense, keep turnover, maybe a pick six, scoop and score, something like that. Um, and a big day by Kyron Williams. He's someone that they relied on a lot this season as well to pull off this upset. But yeah, I see the Eagles advancing to the NFC title game again, and I think it'll be a battle of the NFC East teams there on 95, Washington versus Philadelphia after this is all said and done.
God, I hope you're wrong. Because the Eagles anyway. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah,
All right. This is a tough one. Guaranteed picks of the week. Brad, I'm gonna let you go first, man. Who's your guaranteed pick of the week?
Tony Romo, CBS Sports former Cowboys quarterback, he always mentions, when he mentions the Chiefs, he says championship DNA. Um, I just said that they're undefeated with the head rep that they got in this game. That's not the reason why I think they're going to win. But yeah, I think obviously they're undefeated at home during the regular season, and they are unbeaten in the divisional round with Mahomes as their starter. Um, I just don't think Houston has enough to get it done against Kansas City. Obviously they're coming off of most of their starters off of 2 weeks of rest. Neither of them played. Their big guys didn't play in the Week 18 matchup, the shutout against Denver. Obviously, they was off last week. Mahomes had his baby, during that time off as well. So he'll be motivated to play for his family as well. We already know the force that Kelsey is. Big Chris Jones there, George Karlaftis. I always talk about them two there on the defense. Just so many guys. Coaching staff, Steve Spagnuolo. I know he's been interviewing for a few um, coaching positions around the league. Andy Reid, those guys just know how to get it done in the playoffs. I got them, and they're home again. It's hard to go in there and win. I got the Chiefs as my guaranteed pick. Who are you guaranteeing this week?
I'm guaranteeing the Ravens beating the Bills, man. I think y'all gonna go on up in Buffalo. I think Lamar is gonna put on the show, make a statement for his case, even give the media more fuel for him to win MVP. And I think the Ravens will beat the Bills. So give me the Ravens as my guaranteed pick of the week over the Bills.
Please, please, please.
And before we go, we got some UFC fights again this weekend. Pay-per-view UFC 311. Some good fights in my opinion. Main event got switched around. Arman, he was forced to withdraw due to an injury, but Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Nato Mokaino now. So I think that'll still be a good matchup. But yeah, if you guys are fight fans too, check out UFC 311 tomorrow. The main card should start around 7 p.m. Eastern time or West Coast time and 10 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, that's going to do it for another episode of the Break and Enter podcast. I want to thank everybody who takes time to watch on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. Follow us on Twitter or X, Instagram as well. Look for us, Podcast B&E or B&E Podcast. Y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time to recap the divisional round matchup. Peace.